Come on in the room. Come on in. Give myself about a 30-minute clock. I really just want to invite you guys tomorrow to the divine forecast for this coming year. And I'll have a link for you guys to register. Yeah, I have a link for you guys to register. Either tonight or sometime by afternoon. We're going to be on at 11 p.m. So 1:11. Good afternoon, good evening to everybody just coming in. Good morning, no matter where you're watching us from and what time you're watching us. Come on in, come on in. I'm giving myself a 30-minute clock, so if you got a few minutes to spare me tonight, I just wanted to share just a couple of things and prepare us for tomorrow night at 11 p.m. I'll be on live giving the divine forecast that the Father gave me for this coming year, 5783. And it's an exciting word. It is a private session. So sometime between tonight and tomorrow afternoon, I will have a link up for you guys to register and all of that good stuff. Also, if you want to get that done sooner, well, we'll just do it that way. Let's just do the registration that way. It's simple, right? Kind of waited to the last minute to do that part of the thing because it is a secret. You know, it's not for everybody. So those that are paying attention, those that are aware, will know where to be, right? It's not something that I'm going to publicly broadcast. So it will be a private session. There are some things, there are some secrets, there are some mysteries that are not for public consumption. They are simply for the sons. And so those of you who are interested in identifying with what the Father is saying, blessings, Apostle. Good to see you tonight. Good to see you, brother. Those of you who are interested in identifying with what the Father desires to say to his sons, from my mouth for 5783. Feel free to connect with that tomorrow. Either tonight or tomorrow, I'll have that link up for you guys to register. Again, it is a private session. And so you're going to have to register to be in the room. It's not going to be public. It's not going to be live on my YouTube page. So there's nowhere else you're going to be able to find it. You're going to have to actually be in the room to hear it. I may put snippets in different places, but it won't be the entire conversation. This is a private session. I had some things on my heart tonight that I wanted to share with you guys before I go to sleep. And I put up Life of the Party. You'll see also in the section that references the video that I have having a conversation about everybody loves you when you're the life of the party. I posted something today, and that post today was out of a conversation that the Father was having with me about the sons in this season, and all of the things that we have communicated over the last 10 years actually have been a strong culmination. It's a culmination happening right now of all of those conversations over the years. Something about the prophetic, I'll share really quickly. Blessings, Apostle Dobbs, blessings. I'll share just really quickly. A lot of times people don't understand the patience necessary for the prophetic. Everything is not something that's right now. Some things are a forecast of something that is to take place in the future. The beautiful thing about the age that we're living in now is that the Father has been forecasting some things to prepare us for the time of manifestation. And these are things that have been hidden from angels. These are the things that have been hidden from the prophets of old. They are things that in some cases have even been revealed to some, but were closed up and were not shared in that age age. They were not shared in that time, but they were for the time of the end. And so now that we're in the time of the end, and I know a lot of people say, well, people have been saying it's the end for a long time, but what they don't understand is that there have been many ends. This is not the first end of the earth, okay? There have been many ends. And so when you identify the revelation and the mystery of the earth and the creation and all of those things, you realize we're simply at another end, okay? There was another beginning and we're going to another end, right? Another end of an age is about to take place. And so there are some things that need to be discussed. There are some things, some conversations that need to be had with the Son so that we will begin to come into proper identity. And as we're coming into proper identity, we'll begin to come into proper form and function in the earth. And so these things are necessary, right? Everybody loves you when you're the life of the party. Let's go there for a hot second. If you're on right now, would you share this for me really quickly? Because this part is live. This part is public. So if you don't mind sharing it, I would appreciate that. If you would just share it across your platforms for a moment. It's funny because the conversation that I was having earlier today, as I said, was a part of a conversation that the Father was sharing with me regarding the sons in this season. And there's a shifting that's about to happen. And it's funny when shift happens because people are used to what was and they're not familiar with what's becoming or what could be changing. They are simply settled with what was, right? And so there are a lot of people who think themselves to be familiar with you as a son in your previous seasons. And coming into this new season, they may think of you as very arrogant. They may have lots of different things to say about you because you are changing. Hey, baby, that's my daughter. Come on in the room for real. Because you're changing, because you are not the same, right? And so they don't understand the change. And they don't understand the fact that you're simply changing into whom you are and to whose you are. You're changing. Not only your physical is changing, but your spirit is changing. The very nature of who you are, the very foundation of who you are is being altered based on the encounter that you have had with the Father. And so I can give you a couple of examples of encounter, then we're going to talk about the life of the party thing. Moshe was a perfect example of having been in the presence of God and coming out and having to cover himself because people could not stand the brightness of his becoming. The brightness of his becoming for carnal people was too much to bear. Now, if there had been some other people like him in his midst, then maybe they would have been able to bear the light. But because they were not light, they couldn't bear the light. And so he had to cover his face. The master had an experience. He had an encounter. There was a transfiguration, and the Bible declares the same as what it was with Moshe, that there was a transformation of his physical pulchritude, changed in the physical sense, but also who he was before had also been changed. Not only him, but those that were with him had been changed because of the experience, right? Everybody loves you when you're the life of the party. And a lot of us have been the life of the party. We've been those that people have desired to have in their camp, have in their presence because of the attractiveness of the power that was on our lives, right? The thing is with this new season is that because things are changing and because things are shifting, you may find yourself unveiling your enemies. You may find yourself uncovering that you have more enemies than you thought you had before, right? And it's not a big deal. That comes with the territory. It's just a matter of fact that When the light begins to shine, then darkness doesn't comprehend it. The word says that the light shone in darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. Right? So it was with the master. And the Father brought me to, or took me to, Luke chapter 2. I believe it was Luke chapter 2. No, that's John chapter 2, where he goes to the wedding at Cana. And when he gets to the wedding, he's invited, his mother's invited, his disciples are invited. So this was a big party. This was a big deal. And they happen to be persons of interest to be at this party. You know, you don't get invited to a party unless people want you to be there, right? And so he's invited to this party. At this point, there's not been a whole lot that's recognizable about who he is yet, even though Luke gives a conversation in chapter 2 about the shepherds coming to the house, finding him there, or no, not the house. They came to the manger scene and found him there and began to have the conversation about all that this angelic host had declared to them about this child. And the word says that Mary pondered it in her heart. She treasured it. This was something that she kept in her heart. It wasn't something that she broadcasted. It wasn't something that she ran telling everyone. It's something that she pondered. So at this point, she's pondered some things in her heart for some time. She's treasured some things that were spoken to her about her son for some time. And now she sees an opportunity to begin to allow what she has pondered to be revealed. And so there's no wine at the wedding, right? And so she tells her son, they're out of wine, son. And he says, what do I have to do with that? Like, that doesn't have anything to do with me. But he knows what she's dealing with. And so he says, my time has not yet come. So I want to share something with you that in previous seasons, there were some highlights or some things that the Father highlighted about who you are. In previous seasons, there were some glimpses of things. And so the frustration that is coming in this season, I posted something the other day saying that, you know, there's a desire or a longing, right, to step into the reality of this new identity. For many of us, there is a longing, and the word talks about the longing and the cry and the travail, right? But the travail is not just the earth's travail, it's the creature's travail. And the creature is us, right? There is a travailing, and this is what this unsettling is with us, even not just from a spiritual standpoint, but there's an unsettling from a natural standpoint. And a lot of people don't understand the unsettling because they think that it is not being prepared. They think that it is not having what you need all in a row. They think it's all of these things, but really what it is that it's a sign and a signal in the earth to let others know that there is a change that is about to take place. And so this unsettling is about the unrest of not having stepped into. It's about the unrest of not having arrived at a place, which is where many of true sons are in this season. There's an unsettled thing going on. There is an upset in our settlement. And so it's not an upset as a negative thing, but it is an upset as in it's no settling there. Because the Father has something that he wants us to come into, something that he wants us to walk into. And I guarantee you, this is the season of us walking right into that. Because we're understanding that the settlement doesn't mean that we sit. The settlement means that it's a place or a headquarters, a place for us to operate from, okay? So the life of the party, everybody loves you when you're the life of the party. The master heeds his mother's concern, and he takes on this situation. She says to the people, whatever he tells you to do, just do it. Because she's pondered some things. She knows some things about him. And she is pushing him to express what she knows. She's pushing him into a position. of manifestation. And he's not really trying to go. I don't know about you guys, but there is a time and there is a brief moment in time when you're moving from one place to the next that you're saying it's not time yet. It's not time. You're feeling like, no, I got a little bit longer. And the Father is saying, no, I'm going to just push you into this place. But the thing about being pushed into this place is this: you must realize that the push into this place is a beautiful place. It's favorable. It's magnificent. And I'll share some more of these things tomorrow, but I'm excited about the divine forecast tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to share some mysteries. I'm going to share some secrets. But they're only for sons. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. I don't want to get into that. He changes the water into wine. But after that, there are many things that take place after that. And there's a lot of exposure of who he is after that. And when this exposure comes, it becomes an issue for many people who thought they knew him. Because everybody loves you when you're the life of the party. I started out with saying that many of you have been on the list of invitation. You know, you've been a person of interest that people wanted in their space and in their place. But in this coming into the new, you're going to find that you're going to make enemies in some places because people are not desiring to come out of the old. They want to hold on to what was. They don't want to release what was. And we see that between the master and the Pharisees and the Sadducees and these different sects, S-E-C-T-S, sects, these different groups of people. We see that battle constantly in the word, with the master saying something and it being an issue for them because they thought they knew something. How dare this person who has not been blessings? Hey, brother, I love you. How dare this person come on the scene who has not grown to our age and our stature have these things to say? What are these words? I was sharing it in the post today that people will begin to, I always forget this word, project on you their inabilities, their disbelief, their lack of capacity will be pushed or projected on you because they don't believe that anyone should have the capacity. Let me give you another example. When we look in the scripture, we see a conversation between the king and his court, his magicians, and all of these rulers of the mysteries, right? To tell him his dream. He's come to a place where he recognizes the foolishness of telling someone something and then telling you what it means, because he feels like there's something in him that is identifying with what's been told him is not necessarily the facts, because his dream is saying something different about his life. It's saying something different about what's to come. It's saying something different about what's on the horizon. And so he asks of the magicians and the soothsayers and the witches, I need you to tell me the dream. They said, no, king, tell us the dream and we'll tell you what it means. He said, I don't have time for your foolishness. I'm not going to believe what you tell me the dream means, because as far as he's concerned, he's been lied to so many times before that it's not even funny. But it was acceptable then, but it's not acceptable now, because this seems very serious. So he says to them, you tell me the dream. And they say to him, king, who asked that kind of question? There is no man that is capable of something like this. There's nobody that's capable. Only the gods can do that kind of thing, right? Well, Daniel comes in on the scene, right? And Daniel says, listen, give me a little bit of time. He says it to the king's right hand. He says, listen, I don't know what the haste is. I don't know what the hurry is, but let the king know that I'll have an answer for him in just a few days. And so the thing that the magicians and the soothsayers and the witches and all of those of the mysteries of darkness thought to be impossible and only the gods could do, Daniel, full of the Spirit of God, comes in and gives the answer. He says, listen, don't these hidden things come from God? Aren't these things only revealed by him? And I don't want to get too far into this tonight, but we're going to have some conversations about dreams this year, and we're going to create some dynamics. So those of you who are dream interpreters, by way of the Holy Ghost, not by way of your books, not by way of your dream books and that kind of thing, because that's not dream interpretation. That lends itself to some other mysteries and closer to the mysteries of darkness, not the mysteries that are divine. The divine things don't have one size fit all things. They have conversations. If it was that simple, then we wouldn't need the relationship, right? But the secret things belong to our God. And he's desiring to reveal those things. So you have been the life of the party. The disciples were invited to those parties as well, but in times ahead of them, they would be not so invited. They would want, people would want them to get out of their towns and get away from their cities. Why? Because they were turning some things upside down. Some things had been established. And as I said, it's the same battle that the master had with the religious organizations or sects of that day. They wanted their religion. They wanted it the old way. They didn't want to come into the new. They wanted to stay in the old. And the Father is definitely doing a new thing. And I'm right in time because I promised myself I would not go over 30 minutes tonight. Yeah. It's something when you are the life of the party and then all of that turns upside down. But there's been a preparation for that because many of those who were the life of the party at some point, there were some issues along the way that lended you to understand a little bit about your identity. You said some things, you moved in a way, and it made people understand that there was something different about your person. So that's what I wanted to get on to tell you tonight. We will be on tomorrow night at 11 p.m. 111 at 11 p.m. And there'll be 2 addresses this year. This one is just simply to tell you what's on the heart and mind of Yah right now. But there will be a complete address again during Passover, okay? Because that's the beginning of the year for sons. The beginning of the year for sons is at Passover. That's the first of the year for us. So I want to share some things that's on the heart and mind of the Father right now as it pertains to where we're headed and in the place of Passover. 5783, I'll share some more things that the Father desires to communicate with his people. Yeah. Anybody got anything they want to say? Any questions? I did well tonight. I hadn't planned on being on all night long, so I wanted to keep it short and sweet. Just something about being the life of the party and then being uninvited. You got to be okay with that. Like I said, many of us have already had our taste of rejection, and much of that has come from family. And I tell you something, the reason for the rejection that was in your family was to prepare you for the rejection that was going to come in these seasons ahead of you. But I want you to know it's not going to just be negative. It's going to be beautiful. You just have to be okay in your emotions. You're going to have to be okay in your emotions because great things are opening for the sons. Great manifestation is opening for the sons. And there will be a community and there will be family, but sometimes you will be uninvited because of what you're carrying, because what you're carrying exposes. It exposes the thing that is not our purple anymore. And that's what I wanted to share with you tonight. Let me know you got something from this tonight. Um, you can get further conversation about what I'm talking about tonight by looking at the last two posts I posted up. Actually, the last one, I think. Yeah, I don't know what I posted today, so you can look at the page and see exactly what I put up, so you can have some more clarity on where we're headed as far as you not being the life of the party. It's a real thing. Let me know that you got something out of tonight. If you did, just go ahead and put a 1 in the room for me, if you don't mind. Go ahead and put a 1 in the room and let me know you got something out of tonight, that you heard some things that the Father was saying to you tonight. You were able to hear. You were able to hear. Thank you. Thank you, Apostle. Let me know that you got something tonight. Put a 1 in the room. Go ahead and put a 1 in the room and let me know you got something tonight. Those of you who are joining, welcome on. I'm about to jump off, but I want you to go back and watch the replay. I put it in a bite size for you so that it'll be easy, it'll be simple for you to watch it really quickly and hear what the Father is saying to the sons in the season. All that you've been through has been a preparation for the season that you're going into. And you're going to have to be okay in your emotions in this season, because you're not going to always be in. We've seen it in some seasons, but in pieces, right? But there are places you will be favored, consistently favored. I'm just letting you know that based on what you're becoming, it's not going to be something that's so welcomed in every place, because it's going to challenge the status quo. It's going to change some things in the environment. It's going to shift some things in the environment. And there are a lot of people who want to be managers of the old. Yeah. They are custodians of what was. And that's not what we're called to in this season. We need to remember, but the only point of the remembrance is so that as we're going into the new, the landmarks are there. The foundations remain in place. But the things that the Father is doing are absolutely incredible. Incredible. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. Love you guys much. I'm about to get out of here. I'm going to go get me some rest. I've got to finish getting everything situated for tomorrow. And like I said, I will put a link up. I will put a link up for tomorrow night's Divine Forecast. It's going to be at 11 p.m. And I'm going to give as much as He allows me to tomorrow night. You know, He does all kind of things, so I'm not going to say that I'll say everything tomorrow night. He might turn it into something where I begin to give bite-sized pieces, blessings, where I begin to give bite-sized pieces every day. I don't know. I'm not going to say exactly how this thing is going to play out, but I do know that He said 11 p.m., only 11. And I'll be sharing some secrets and some mysteries and just saying what the Father is sharing with me about where the sons are and where we're headed in this new place. In this new place. I love you guys so much. Peace to your house. Listen, the body is not a me thing. It's a we thing. That's the only time I speak French. Yeah, Eastern Standard Time. Absolutely. 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. And it is by registration only. It is not going to be live like I am here right now. You're going to have to register for it, and I'll put the registration up sometime between tonight and tomorrow afternoon. It will be up, and there's a reason for it being delayed. It's not for everybody. So those who know. And it wouldn't matter to me if it was just 2 of us in the room or 3 of us in the room. I'm only going to share with those that the Father allows to be aware of it, those who register and come into that place. Okay? I might even cap it. I might even cap it and just invite those who register to a private room. It's going to be private anyway, but something that's limited space. So I don't know, but just register. If you register, you'll get in. If you register, you'll get in. Yeah. All right. I love you guys. We will talk tomorrow. I'm excited about tomorrow. I'm not even going to tell you what all we're going to, what the theme is or anything. I just gave you a couple of hints. We'll be talking about secrets and mysteries, and yeah, it's going to be exciting. I can't wait to hear it. A lot of times people think that leaders, you know, authentic kingdom leaders, we don't have all the conversation. He tells us to study things out. He gives us things to look upon. He gives us conversations to have because he's having conversations with us. But when it's time to deliver a thing, um, a lot of times when it's crucial, he doesn't give all the tea beforehand. It's kind of like a crunch time thing often. Like, okay, jot this down, jot that down. I want to talk about these things. But then we have to go before the people and we can have a conversation about something he's just having a conversation with us about. And that's the importance of going back and listening to me because I want to hear again what he said. You know what I'm saying? So that I can make a record of what he's speaking in that season. So, yeah, I'm excited about tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm a little on the edge, but I'm excited. Yeah. So we'll see you tomorrow at 11 p.m. if you register. And like I said, tonight or tomorrow by afternoon, I'll have a link up for you to register. We'll get all those things back in place. I've got to get my ministry website back up. It's been down for a little while. I just haven't taken the time to put it back up, but we got to get everything back up and moving this year. We got to have all that the Father is doing something through. We got to have all those things in place so that he can work through those things, right? All right, so we'll see you tomorrow.